Welcome back to Movie Review Mom. And if this is the very first time you've discovered my YouTube channel, yay, you're here. Welcome. I'm so glad that you found it. Today, I'm going to be reviewing the movie called The Atom Project. This fun flick is now available on Netflix. It's rated PG-13 and is an hour and 46 minutes. But before I dive into all of the specifics, I just wanted to point out my new background. I'm experimenting based on suggestions from some of my YouTube subscribers. So normally I have red theater seats, and then I tried a different set of red theater seat backgrounds. Now we're going for blue. I'm wearing blue. I don't know. What do you think? Comment down below. And while you're at it, click subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that little bell notification, and it'll let you know as soon as I upload new movie reviews or trailer reactions. All right, let's dive in. In a nutshell, after the spirited success of the movie Free Guy, I thought that movie was so much fun. And you can see it here on my Movie Review Mom YouTube channel, my review of it. Anyway, director Shawn Levy teams up with Ryan Reynolds again in this fun time-traveling movie on Netflix. In this snappy, family-friendly movie, Ryan Reynolds that's a tongue twister, Ryan Reynolds. Say that 10 times fast. Anyway, he plays the pilot, Adam Reed, who teams up with his 12-year-old self for a mission to save the future by erasing time travel, which his late father accidentally discovered. Now, there were a lot of things I really liked about this movie. First of all, it's Netflix, and we're always looking for new stuff to watch on Netflix, right? I always get a kick out of the snappy comments that Ryan Reynolds' characters are always known for. Sure, he usually plays the same character in every movie that he does, but I get a kick out of it still. The casting of young Adam, the young Ryan Reynolds, is spot on, I thought. And I loved watching them together. They had great chemistry. And I'm super impressed with this young actor whose name is Walker Scobell. So kudos to him. We are surely going to see more of him. Really great little actor. The A-list cast also includes Mark Ruffalo, Jennifer Garner, Zoe Saldana, and Catherine Keener. Now, all but Catherine have played Marvel characters, so they are crowd pleasers. They don't all get equal time. They've got some supporting roles for sure, but I just loved the cast. It was just so much fun to see them. It's also really fun to see Jennifer Garner and Mark Ruffalo together again, because they both starred in the adorable rom-com movie called 13 Going on 30. So if you haven't seen that movie, check that one out. You can rent it on Amazon, and click down below. I've got a coupon for you for a free 30-day trial on Amazon Prime. Yay, coupons. There's a cute golden retriever who's actually Jennifer Garner's dog named Birdie. I love that. There's some cool tech, spacecraft, and weapons that I just thought were really fun and awesome. I've never heard of a goatee being called a mouth mullet before, but that's part of the humor that you can expect in this movie. There's a punchy soundtrack that takes you back in time to the 80s specifically. Lots of action, as well as a lot of heartwarming conversations mixed with comedic beats in every scene. The science is interesting and mind-bending at times, but the heart of the movie is truly the family and the relationships. There is sweet resolution in the end, and I'm always happy for that. There are some fun references to other movies like Star Wars and even Back to the Future. And if you haven't seen those trilogy, well, the Back to the Future trilogy and the Star Wars movies, I mean, who hasn't seen those? You should definitely check those out. Shawn Levy is great at including fun Easter eggs in his movies for fans, including those references to other movies. But here's another example. There's a scene where Ryan Reynolds and Mark Ruffalo open up a box filled with sports equipment inside. And on the lid are a bunch of stickers, including ones that show Deadpool and the Hulk. I thought that was pretty cute. Now, there were a few things that I didn't like or thought could have been handled better. First of all, for a family-friendly movie, at least it appears to be that target audience, right? Family friendly. This one had too much profanity, and I hate it when kids swear. And there's some of that in this movie. Some of the pixelated faces don't look good at all. And you'll see what I mean when you get to that part of the movie. I mean, it was just super distracting, which is a shame. The movie is somewhat predictable, but is still completely entertaining. There are some sciencey things that aren't explained really well. So just don't overthink it. And then I think you're going to enjoy the movie more. Let me give you some tips for parents. As I mentioned, there is some profanity. A kid mouths an F-bomb. You don't hear the word, but you definitely know what he's saying. And then he swears a lot too. There are fart jokes, of course, again, because I think that target audience is family friendly, kids, parents, that kind of thing. There's some bullying, fighting with violence, kind of a high body count, although you don't see, well, I was going to say you don't see blood, but actually you do. A man gets wounded and you actually see his, the blood and the wound and that kind of stuff. But as far as the dead people, when they're dying, they just sort of disappear in a twinkle kind of a thing. Actually, it's kind of cool. Kids are actually going to see that science can be cool. And then there are some inappropriate suggestive references to male body parts. And it's supposed to be funny, but it's just kind of like a little awkward. Now, some of the themes that are illustrated well in the movie are time and how it is the most valuable resource on Earth, wouldn't you say? Time travel, of course, is a theme. Future you versus current you. Hope, science, family, and overcoming personal weaknesses and challenges with perspective. There were a ton of funny lines, so many that I couldn't even write them all down. So here's just one, just to kind of give you a little taste. There's lots of joking around, of course, comical banter, but then also just kind of some lines that are spit out that aren't necessarily intended to be, laugh out loud humor. Here's an example. So the mom is saying to her husband, "Your cooking makes you a borderline serial killer." And she's saying it in good fun. And so, like I said, there's a lot of joking around that way. And then there are some lines that are just hilarious. I also wrote down some interesting lines, and you can see them all on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So one interesting line I thought that was pretty insightful is spoken by the young Walker Scobell playing young Adam. And he says, "I think it's easier to be angry than sad." And emotional resilience is definitely a topic of the movie, overcoming past hurts and also understanding how we react and having more control over how we react to certain situations. Anyway, I really got a kick out of this movie. I heard a film critic say this is a one and done movie, like you can't watch it again. But I actually am going to watch it again with my husband. I watched it the first time as a film critic, and the second time I'm just going to watch it as a fan. My overall movie review mom grade is an A. Bring more stuff like this to Netflix and other places. Now, before I go, let me give you some recommendations for some other movies that I think are sort of similar and just a lot of fun. The first is Guardians of the Galaxy. I love that franchise. Lots of color and high-tech weapons and just lots of funny banter throughout the entire movie and that kind of thing. Love that movie. Another one, of course, is Back to the Future, one of the classic 80s movies, 90s movies that was just such a huge hit. Free Guy, which I mentioned earlier with Ryan Reynolds. And I watched that movie with my son and his girlfriend. They are both video game animated artists at a famous video game company, and they loved that movie. And they said it was really spot on in terms of how video games are made and some of the corporate difficulties that happen in producing video games. Anyway, and then the last one is called Frequency. It's a movie also about a father and son relationship and time travel and that kind of stuff. It's an older one, but also really good and interesting and heartwarming. All right, that's it for my review. I hope that if you watch this movie that you enjoyed as much as I did. Thank you again for all of your support. You can find me as Movie Review Mom on Instagram, but also as Trina Boice on Instagram, because that's my name. Thank you so much. I will catch you in the next one. Bye for now.